Hello friends, in this video we will see what are the use cases for public, private and hybrid cloud deployment models. Before going to each of the use cases, we need to understand the public cloud is a shared infrastructure. So what are the use cases for the public cloud? Startup companies which they wanted to build their infrastructure, they can go to the public cloud because they don't want to use capex model. They don't want to invest on the hardware, they don't want to invest on the data center, so they can simply go to the public cloud and use the services offered by the cloud service provider. The next use case for the public cloud is organization wanted to adapt for the cloud native application. So what is cloud native application? There are some services like Kubernetes services, microservices which are running on cloud service platform. They can leverage these services using public cloud. So these are the services which they can easily adapt using the public cloud. To build these infrastructure anyway, it will take time on the private cloud or the organization infrastructure. In other case, simply an organization wanted to test the application. Because the organization, if they start procuring the hardware and the related software for the application, it will take time and it will also cost them. Instead of that, they can simply use the services which are offered by the public cloud. They can use the public cloud to test the application. Once the applications are tested on the cloud, they can simply delete those applications which they have consumed. If an organization has an urgent requirement or they have the requirement to deploy some of the services very soon, they can deploy the services on cloud very fast. So you can easily deploy the services at very rapid scale. That is also one of the use cases for moving to the public cloud. Now we have looked into the public cloud use cases. Let us understand what are the use cases for the private cloud. If an organization has very strict regulatory requirement, then they will not be able to move to public cloud. Instead, they will use private cloud. If an organization wanted to have the complete control on their hardware, the data, and the infrastructure, then they will use private cloud. Control of hardware, data, and the facility. Some of the organizations have already deployed their infrastructure, so they are already into capital expenditure model. To move to the operational expenditure model, it will take time. So this is called as cloud maturity model. The organization is still not equipped to move to the operational expenditure model. So this will be also one of the case. Let us understand what is the use cases for the hybrid cloud model. Hybrid cloud provides flexibility of the services offered. If an organization is having some of the applications on the on-prem environment, they wanted to move to the public cloud. Or they wanted to integrate with some of the services on the public cloud, they can integrate with the public cloud services. And also, if an organization wanted to decide which application runs on where, so they wanted to control the application. For example, if they wanted to keep the database on the private cloud, they want to integrate with the application services on the public cloud. So basically, they have the control over selecting the application and services, where exactly it has to run, whether it has to run on private cloud or it has to run on the public cloud. In some of the cases, the organization wanted to deploy and test the application on the public cloud before deploying it onto the on-prem environment. So they will test the application, deploy on the private cloud, and they will integrate the services with the public cloud. So whenever there is a question of hybrid cloud, we will have private cloud and the public cloud. So you have the combination of private and public cloud whenever you talk about hybrid cloud. So there might be some of the services which are running on private cloud, and you might have integrated the services with the public cloud. For example, if I wanted to integrate Active Directory services on Azure, I can integrate for the directory services for my private cloud. Now, let us look into the multi-cloud deployment model use cases. In multi-cloud deployment model, you have the flexibility. You have the flexibility of switching between the cloud. And your organization doesn't want to keep all the services in one cloud service provider infrastructure. So basically, the organization decides not to keep all their services or all their data with one cloud service provider. And also, some of the cloud service provider provides better SLA than other, because of which an organization can decide to use some of the services with cloud service provider A and some of the services with cloud service provider B. and cost. For whatever services, which are being consumed by an organization, there is a cost attached to it. For each of the services, if the cloud service provider A provides better cost than the cloud service provider B, then there is a reason why an organization wants to go with cloud service provider A. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the content, please subscribe and share the video. Thank you and take care.